We're going to have one last question before we go into the closing statement. And this comes from a woman who sent me an email today. She's from Dracut, an elderly woman who's lived in her home all her life. She's now raising her daughter's 2 children who are in grade school. Her taxes are rising. She's got on a fixed income, and she said, will you please ask the candidates, how will I be better off 4 years from now under a Republican administration as opposed to a Democratic administration? So that goes to Mr. Fisher first.
Well, I got that question, actually, a week ago. I was at Rosie's place, shelter for homeless women in Boston. And when I go around, I have a campaign stump speech, and I talk about illegal immigration and cost to citizens of Massachusetts, and I talk about EBT card reform and welfare reform. I didn't have the chance to make that point, those 2 points, because the 150 women there that I was talking to asked me first, what are you going to do about illegal immigrants? They're taking the beds in our shelter. They're cutting the line in front of us. They're getting our services. What are you going to do about it? And before I could answer that question, other women said, what are you going to do about these dead people getting EBT cards? This is not a conservative, right-wing Tea Party issue. It's affecting homeless women. It's affecting the woman that Jim just talked about. We don't have a revenue problem in Massachusetts. We have this enormous spending problem that's being spent on the greedy when it should be spent on the needy. It's being spent on illegal immigrants, and it shouldn't be. It's an enormous amount of money. $400 million in abuse and fraud in the EBT card system. We give EBT cards to over 1,000 dead people. $2 billion to illegal immigrants. That's why this woman has a difficulty. That's why the people at Rosie's place have difficulty. I talked about the solution for illegal immigrants. EBT cards. The requirement for photo ID, no exceptions. Only about 50% of the cards have them now. No exceptions. In those hardship cases where people are bedridden or are in their homes, then fine. The caregiver's photo was on the card as well. No cash from ATMs. EBT cards cannot be used for alcohol, tobacco, pornography, tattoos, and rightly so. But an EBT card recipient can go to an ATM, get cash, and buy those same things. We enforce that. And also a drug test. They have to take it, they have to pass it. Again, we don't reward bad behavior. We don't want to be sponsoring your drug habits. This is the reform of the EBT card system. We use the existing cash we have to help those in need.
Thank you. Mr. Baker?
It's funny, the first question that Chris asked was about the rise in state spending and the drop in local aid. One of the main reasons I've talked about the fact that we need to continue to support local communities is because the people who have the hardest time paying for rising property taxes, paying for more fees, and dealing with service cuts in local communities are the seniors who live in those communities. A big part of why I think the Commonwealth needs to be a better partner to the Commonwealth cities and towns is so that the people who can least afford those increases don't get hit with them. I mean, the people who get hit with property tax increases, I think, and for whom they really hurt, are people who don't have a lot of income but live in their home. Exactly the kind of person you're talking about. The people who get hit by fee increases, again, people with fixed income. The people who get hit by service cuts, whether it's transportation services or senior centers or other services like that, seniors living on fixed incomes. The Commonwealth needs to be a far better partner to its cities and towns than it's been. And in the Baker administration, we will be.
I could park here for the debate?
Sure. I assume the press?
Yes, CR News. I'm a shoestring operation. No, I won't CR News.
Okay. I think we're all filled up in here.
There was a spot over there.
Yeah, but obviously the cones are there. They're reserved.
What
We
about
don't
that
have any
spot on
open
the
ones.
end there?
That would be the president's spot, so that one's always coned off.
Isn't he in Martha's Vineyard? Oh, the other president, the college president.
Yeah.
I'm joking. All right, so what do I do?
That's a good question. Hang on, let me grab.
I got 20 minutes. I'll hang.
Just follow her.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Very, very good.
Yeah.